Okay, we're recording again. So at this point, I want to walk you through how to complete an application with the customer on the other line. So the customer, let's say you just sent this to the customer and you say, hey, did you get that email from CardPoint? Great. Go ahead and scroll down to the bottom. It'll say there's a blue button that says your application is ready to sign. You're going to go ahead and click on that sign my application button. Now, I've done this personally multiple times, so it's already got my username and password and everything filled in. But they're going to want to create a username and password. The username can just be their email address. Password can be whatever they want, but it needs to have 9 characters, 1 uppercase, 1 number, 1 special character, and it can't be the same as your username. So there we go. We're going to click create account. First thing it'll do is have you sign in with the username and password you just created. So it's trying to make me sign in with one of my past ones, but I'm going to do this one. Okay, and there we go. So now we're in here. The first step is looking at this, use business legal name for tax filing name. 99% of the time, that's what they want to do. So, yep, they're going to check that box. Use business legal name for DBA name. Again, this you saw that was pre-checked. So if my DBA name was Aaron Super Cool Home Inspection Company and my legal name was something different, then this is where I would change it, right? But in this case, my legal name and my DBA name are the same. So we'll go in and put in a website address, an address, use in business, type of ownership. Now most LLCs have a TIN or an EIN number. So they would put LLC and they'll just fill in their EIN number. However, some guys don't. And if they don't, there's no way for them to move forward on this application without a TIN number if they mark LLC. So if they get to this point and they're like, well, I don't have a TIN number, but I am an LLC, what you'll need to say is, hey, no problem, sir. The application doesn't let you continue forward as an LLC with an if you don't have an EIN number. So go ahead and just click the drop-down arrow, select individual sole proprietorship, and then it'll let you put your social security number in. And then once the application is complete, go ahead and send me an email, and I can make that change on my side and change you back to an LLC. But the application won't let that happen. It's going to require an EIN number. So at this point, this is pre-filled in, home inspections. Then we're going to do date of birth. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording right here while I put this information in, and then I'll jump right back in. Actually, I paused it, but what I want to show you, because I'm just going to finish this out, I'm going to put in the last 4 of my social, but then I'm going to check this box that I give my personal guarantee, and I'm going to use the business phone number for the mobile phone. So I got to check all those boxes, and then I'll click OK, looks great. But I wanted to just go over this personal guarantee. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, what's this personal guarantee? Should I sign this or should I check this box? And what you'll want to do is say, yeah, you'll want to check that box. The personal guarantee is simply saying that if you book a bunch of inspections and you collect payment from your customers and then you skip town with that money and head to the Caribbean, that we can come after you personally to collect that money, not just after your business. So it's just saying that we can collect our fees from you as an individual and or you as a business. So assuming you're not going to skip town and run to the Caribbean, this one shouldn't matter. that usually gets them to the point where they'll check it. But if they're like, I don't know that I want to give my personal guarantee, then you can say, okay, no problem. If you don't want to give a personal guarantee, then we need to go off of your business credit instead of your personal and your business background, which means we'll need 2 years of tax returns. We'll need 6 months of business bank statements, and we're going to need an accountant prepared financial statement. With that information, then you wouldn't need to give a personal guarantee. And 99.9% of the time when we tell them that, they're like, okay, I'll just check the box and give personal guarantee. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, put in the social security number, last 4, and then I'll click okay, looks great, move on, and then we'll start back up where we left off there. Okay, so we're back. I put in the last 4 of my social. I went to this part of the application. Now, this is where people kind of get held up. There's 2 options here. You can see there's the instant account verification, and right below there it says manually enter account. The quickest way to do it is probably this. They click on instant account verification, click continue. Then what they'll do is they'll select their bank. Like for me, I use Key Bank. Okay, and then it's going to ask for you to put in your username and password. When you put that in, it'll verify it and you're done. You don't have to do anything else. So that's the quickest way to do it. But sometimes people get hung up with that and they get concerned, well, man, I'm putting in my bank username and password here. They'll ask why we need that. And we're like, hey, we just need to know where to put the money when you process a credit card. We got to be able to deposit it into your bank account. So the other option you can do is click manually enter account, checking account information, and then you'll just type it in. Account type is checking. Now the routing number, like for Key Bank, for example, the routing number for every bank is going to be public information. Each bank has their own routing number. So everybody with a Key Bank account has the same routing number. That's just saying that it's Key Bank, right? So Key Bank's routing number is 124101555. Routing numbers are always 9 digits, always, 100% of the time. So if they're wondering when they're looking at their checks, which one's the routing number, it's the one that's 9 digits. Bank accounts can be anywhere from 7 digits to 16 digits. Mine, for example, is 12 digits. So I'm just going to put in 12 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 digits, random numbers there. The problem with the manual account verification is it's going to take whatever you put in there. It's not actually verifying your checking account or anything like that. So this is a bogus checking account number. So when I set up this merchant account, it's going to try and send money to that account. So if they type in the number wrong, it's going to cause problems later down the road. So we're going to put in the checking account information. Average annual credit card volume is typically, we say, to put in 120,000 or if they're doing anything less than that, because they get automatically approved for anything under 120. And then we want them to check this one for $501 to $1,000 for average transaction. So then you click OK, great. Let's move on. They don't need equipment, so you just click OK, great. Let's move on. And that takes you to this last page. Now, this is something where guys run into problems a lot as well. So because what they'll try and do is they'll check this box here and then they'll scroll to here and they're like, hey, it's grayed out. I can't click anything. The buttons don't work, right? That's because they actually have to scroll down through all 40-something pages of these terms and conditions. And if you'll see, I still can't click on these. I'm only on page 36. There we go. Now I'm page 46, and right there, that turned green, and now I can click on it and complete step 1. Then I'll do the same thing for step 2, the merchant processing application and agreement. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. You'll see right here are the rates and fees, everything that we quoted that was in that template. Just simply scroll down. You can see I can't do anything. I can't initial. This is purple. As soon as I get to the bottom, it turns green. Now I can initial AF, check the box, complete step 2. Okay, sign here. Aaron Furman, click I agree. And it's asking me to add a voided check because I did the manual process. Then I would just take a picture of a check and I would submit it here. Now I'm not going to do that. when they do that and then they click I agree, they're done. That's the end of the application. They're going to get an email that says your application's been completed. And we'll tell them what the next steps are. They'll get a pop-up window right here on the screen that says your application's completed. So they're done. And as soon as they do that, we get notification that the application's been completed and they go into qualifying status, and then we do our thing. So that's how you walk a merchant through the application from start to finish. Hopefully that was helpful.